I love Colombia. It's awesome.
It's all this confusion, not the same to me.
It was always my favourite song to play live. Always.
I just like it because it's got a bit of a groove in it as well.
And they don't change. It just keeps going. Three chords, it's just grooving along.
Alright, it's Liam. I want to thank everyone at the Oasis Podcast. As you were.
Hello and welcome back to the Oasis Podcast, the ultimate audio guide to Oasis. Hope you guys are all right. The reason you've heard a little bit of the Oasis guys talking about Colombia there is we have a new Oasis song. Well, it's not a new Oasis song. It's actually like one of the oldest Oasis songs. But the first release from the upcoming Definitely Maybe 30 album is out. And it's actually very, very exciting. Now, before you make the point, I'll drop it in. Yes, Colombia is not my favourite Oasis song. I know it's a lot of people's favourite Oasis song, but it's just not for me. It doesn't, I'm just not really into like groove-based songs like that. But it's a very interesting song, especially when you consider the journey. So what we're going to do today on a short episode is just to talk about what this new Colombia version that's been released is all about, what it means in terms of what we got coming with Definitely Maybe 30, and just look back at Colombia overall, where this sort of sits in the history of the different versions of Colombia. And really, just before we get going, I'm recording this late on Thursday, the 13th of June. On Sunday, the 16th of June, I'm going to be at the Together We'll Fly exhibition at Salford Lads Club in Salford near Manchester, to be there all day at the Oasis exhibition. So I'll be doing interviews on the day. I'm hoping there's going to be some special guests coming along, so I'll be able to grab some interviews with them. And if you're going to come down, then come on down. Say book tickets, because it's limited slots, so you've got to kind of book your slot. It won't sell out, I don't think, but you should really book a ticket rather than just turn up. So links in the description. Come on down. I think the best option. I think there's still tickets available for the Nick Bryan Q&A. I think the Brian Cannon one's sold out, but the Nick Bryan Q&A hosted by John Robb is still available. So I think if you book a ticket for that, you also then get entry to the exhibition, and it's 20 quid either way. So if you're coming on a Sunday, you may as well book to see Nick Bryan, and then you get in, you get let into the exhibition anyway. So that would be my tip. But anyway, yeah, so come on down for that. It's actually opened tonight on the Thursday, and I've seen loads of pictures appearing on sort of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and it looks absolutely amazing. So well done for Carl putting it on. Well done for all the guys getting down there. And I will see you guys there on Sunday. All right, well, look, let's get back to Colombia then. So when they announced that Definitely Maybe 30 was coming out, we were interested to see, well, what's this going to be? Previous Oasis reissues have been pretty basic. All they've done is just kind of, knocked it back out like the Master Plan last year. What did they do? They just put out a different coloured vinyl and a bit of crappy merch. That was it. There was no sort of unreleased tracks. It wasn't even new mixes. They were just the same old thing. And I was worried that with Definitely Maybe 30 that might be the same. But it's not the case. They've actually got some interesting stuff coming out. And based on the Colombia today, it's even more interesting than we thought. So what they've got coming is, obviously you've got the 2 CD version. You've got CD1, which is just the album with the remastered tracks. But then CD2 for me is where it gets interesting, because we have the Mono Valley versions of the different songs, which is great. Some of these we've never had before. Some of them have been released over the years, officially and unofficially. But to get like 8 of the tracks from Mono Valley released is absolutely fantastic. And then Sawmills, right? So Sawmills, we had the Sawmills CD that came out that was released as a bootleg last year. I interviewed Kyle and Dan because they released it last year. And so when we saw that, they were going to be releasing a load of Sawmills tracks, and on the release they're actually listed as Sawmills Outtake, you think, okay, well, it's just going to be the same kind of versions that were on that CD, basically, which was fine. Like we said all along, we didn't necessarily want that to be a bootleg. We'd much rather it had been an official release, because then you can get it, when the official properly produced artwork and and everything that would come with it. But we assumed that this new release was just going to be basically the same as that CD. However, this Columbia outtake that's just appeared is not the same as the version from the CD. It's very different. So there are sort of three things I think that really make this stand out. Obviously it is just different. It's 7 minutes long, and there's a couple of very quirky things in there. So let's go through, shall we? So I think there's three things that really stand out here. So first off, at around about 3 minutes 24, you hear Liam sing "To Those in the Media." So when he sings "To Those in the Media," I thought he was then going to say, something rude about them. But no, he just sings the same line, but instead of the normal lyrics, he sings "To Those in the Media," which I thought was a bit weird. Right, now this is even more interesting, right? At 4:20 here, which is ironic because it sounds a bit stoned, Liam does this like weird little chat. Okay, so let's have a little listen to this. Okay, so what's he saying there? Have you got any idea? Well, thank you to the legend that is David Huggins. We know what he's saying, because he's gone through and isolated that vocal, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, her sister didn't see no excuse. She's the biggest sight you've ever seen. She climbs out, build a wall, straight as a javelin pole.
Right, so it sounds to me like the lyrics here are, well, her sister lives in Morris Street. She's the biggest tart you've ever seen. She can't half build a wall, straight as a javelin pole. Now, I've Googled that. I haven't got a clue what that is on about. I haven't got a clue what it's on about, and I've Googled like individual phrases to see if it's like a reference to something. Like when we're hearing it without being isolated, the fact it's like, build a wall, it almost sounds like Johnny Rotten doing "Over the Berlin Wall," and I thought, well, maybe it's a reference to that, but no, it's just random. And you think, well, why would Liam come up with that randomly in the middle of the studio? But if we go back to a previous version of the song, so this is the leaked demo cassette from the Real People sessions, you can hear that it sounds to me like Noel is saying those same words, but just it's really buried in the mix. Give it a listen. And then, not really connected, but I do think it's quite interesting that Liam then says, "It's not quite acid house," which I think is quite funny. And yeah, you hear he mentions Morris Street there. So Morris Street is a street in Manchester, basically right off Maldith Road, just south of Fallowfield in Withington, which is where Mark Coyle was from. And so, a sad song, Moldith Road West demo is what they've said there. So it's literally down the road from where they recorded that. So there's a very, very good chance that could be it. So it's something that was sort of hanging around, and they were thinking about it and saying it, like chanting along, and it feels almost like, the little sort of nursery rhyme chants in I'm the Walrus, but very weird, but there you go. So one of the cool things about this, and it's also one that that we heard on the Sawmills version, and it's also something that we heard on the Eden Studios version. So that is Liam doing the falsetto, which we've not heard before, which was really exciting to hear that. The first time I heard that was when Brian Garcia, because he was the person that had these sort of the Sawmills and these Eden sessions ones originally, and to hear Liam doing the I can tell you the way I feel as a falsetto is amazing, because obviously that's not what you end up hearing, and the fact it's sort of a demo, you can really hear his voice really clearly, which is really nice. So let's have a bit of that. Plus, if we're talking about the Eden Sessions version, then the cool bit I like about that as well is when Liam kind of weirdly goes, yah, yah, yah. So let's have a little bit of that. Plus, as we're talking about these, let's go back to the white label demo version, which is the version recorded with the real people. Now, the interesting thing about this one, really, I think, is these samples. But yeah, there's 3 very clear samples in this song. And so the first one, and you've got a big up here, has to go to David Huggins again. He's the guy that sort of really managed to break these down and figure it out. And if you go back to my interviews with Angeli Dutt and with Chris Griffiths, we talked about this quite a bit. So you can get a bit more information on this on those other episodes. But just to give you a heads up, so the first sample in the intro says, "I've sinned so much to disgust, mother. Take me into your arms. How am I to protect you?" Now, we don't actually know what that means. Who knows what that means? We don't actually know what it's from. Apparently, it was just like a CD that the real people had kicking around, but we don't actually know what the CD was. So, and it's I don't think we'll ever know, and unless they kind of, unless the real people have a proper clear out or something. So then there's also here a sample. Now, once again, same again, this was from a random CD that they found. It's like, hey, yeah. No idea what it is. Just a random sample that the real people had, and they shoved it on there because they thought it sounded cool. But yeah, no chance we'll ever find out what it is. And then the third one is actually from a speech by Tony Benn. It was recorded off the radio. Noel actually said in the sleeve notes of the 2014 reissue of Definitely Maybe, on the demo of Columbia, there's a snippet of Tony Benn talking. We were just flicking through the radio, recording it, and he was on. So it's quite cool that was happened to be found in that way. But what he says is, "Take away the noise of your songs, to the melody of your harps I will not listen." And this is actually from the book of Amos in the Bible. And then that line's looped, and then over that is then layered another sample of Tony Benn, and he's saying, "Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream," which is also from the same book of the Bible.
Take away from me the noise of your song. Take away the melody of your heart. Take away from the melody of your lips. Justice flows down like waters. Just like flows down like waters. Just like flows down like waters. Righteousness like an ever-flowing stream.
So yeah, we don't know where it was from. It was just happened to be recorded on that day. So yeah, very interesting. And once again, it's I'm the Walrus. That's exactly what they did in I'm the Walrus. They, when it's like service of a villain, sit you down, father, they were just recording the radio. So there you go. So so what does this mean for the rest of the re-releases? I think it means we're going to get some interesting stuff. For years, that's what we've been saying. What do we want? We want like an Oasis anthology. We want alternate versions. We want these little outtakes and quirky things and hearing them talk, because that's really what is interesting, We don't want these just perfect, pristine versions of the songs. You want to see how this stuff is being made behind the scenes at the museum. That's why the anthology is so good. That's why the likes of the Beach Boys and Bob Dylan put out such amazing stuff. And Oasis deserve it. So I'm really hopeful that, that this for Definitely Maybe. Let's hope we get something similar for Morning Glory, Be Here Now. We know there's stuff out there. So yeah, let's hope that this is the start of a new phase. All right, well, that'll do it for today. I just wanted to really jump on and talk about Colombia. I'll be back very soon with, look out for live, because I'm going to be doing some recording on that Sunday. So I may well go live. I'm not sure how we'll do that. So yeah, keep an eye on your Twitter, because that's probably where I'll be flagging it. But we may well be going live on YouTube or somewhere on the Sunday. But yeah, we're going to be doing loads of recording on the Sunday. Really excited. And I may even go and see Liam in Manchester on the Sunday. I'm just trying to blag a ticket right now, but that's the plan. So yeah, next episode should be pretty epic, because it will be me live in Manchester at the Together We'll Fly exhibition with Kyle and with a load of other cool people, maybe some special guests, and then a review of Liam's show. Hopefully, if I do end up going. So we'll see. So it's going to be probably about a month's worth of content, which is fantastic. All right, well, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for listening. Like I said, if you are around in Manchester, or if you can get to Manchester this weekend, then go on the other days. That's cool. But if you can be there on the Sunday, come on down, come and say hello. And I look forward to seeing you there. All right, that'll do it. Thank you very much for listening. Most of all, thanks go to our patrons. You put your money where your mouth is. It's greatly appreciated. You can become a patron at patreon.com/OasisPod, which is where we post bonus episodes, and you can become part of the Discord server. Email me, oasispod@gmail.com. Get in touch on social media. Twitter @OasisPodcast is the best place. And I will see you again very soon. Stay in touch, stay engaged, and stay young.